That's a lot for one day. All the land-dwelling animals, feels like it's almost too much. And by the way, we're just about to move on. He's going to create mankind on that day too. That's too much, God. And he's going to see that it was good, but really the duck-billed platypus? Hello and welcome to Joel Reads Bible. This is the channel where I, Joel, read the Bible from front to back. We're starting in Genesis chapter 1. Let's get into it. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. A lot of Christians say you can stop at in the beginning, God. In the beginning, God. That's all you need. But we're going to read past that. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Talk about a helicopter parent. Put in the comments if you like stupid jokes, because I could do constant stupid jokes. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. How did that work before that? Was everything just kind of like mid-tone? Like he had darkness, that was just started dark, and then he added light, but he hadn't separated them yet, so it was just kind of like dusk. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and there was evening and there was morning, the first day. Okay, so I think it was dusk, and then he turned it into days. So in the first day, he just made days. And God said, "Let there be an expanse between waters to separate water from water." So God made the expanse and separated the water under the expanse from the water above it. And it was so. God called the expanse sky, and there was evening and there was morning, the second day. So basically the sky we have between like the ocean, the water on earth, and the water in space, because space is all water, is sky. And I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure if there is any water in space, or unless this is talking about clouds, maybe it's the sky between the water and then the clouds, and then space. We're not even thinking about that yet. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place." So we don't have an ocean yet. "And let dry ground appear," and it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. He's starting to sound a little braggy at this point. It almost sounds like a comedic skit. It's like, wing, that's good, wing, that's good. It's just like a little over the top, but it is funny. It is funny. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it." And it was so. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds. That's very detailed about the seeds. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the third day. So we got plants, we got land, we've got plants. And God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to separate the day from the night." But how did we do that before? "And let them serve as signs to mark the seasons and days and years." "And let them be lights in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth." And it was so. So astrology, I don't know if it's it didn't say it's going to change people's personalities, so I don't know if astrology is true. And these stars are actually in the expanse of the sky. So that means that the other water is above the stars, maybe? Like it goes, I guess we got to go beyond space now, because it would be beyond, because it's just in the sky, which in this case is actually outer space. God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night, which I assume is the sun and the moon, which the moon technically isn't a light, and God knew that, but he was just, I think when he had this written, he was just like, they'll think it's a light. So I'll let them, I'm not going to say it's reflecting the sun. That's ridiculous. He also made the stars, which arguably the sun is one of the stars, but we can separate it because I think of it as a separate thing. I don't think of it as a star. I know it is one, but that's just because scientists have decided to call it that. We could be calling it the greater light. God set them in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good again. It doesn't say again. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day. And God said, let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the sky where the stars are. It doesn't say that, but that's where the stars are. So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living and moving thing with which the water teems, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. I wouldn't have minded if he had been like, except for seagulls. We don't need so many seagulls. You know what I mean? They're loud, they're shrill. Tone down the seagulls. But other than that, perfect job. That was good. I mean, the birds and the fish. And God said, let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, livestock, creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind. And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. I love that he made livestock. I understand that they take wild animals and they'll domesticate them. They'll turn them into what you might call a livestock. But in this case, God actually made them to be livestock. So it's a wonderful gift. That's a lot for one day. You know, all the land-dwelling animals, like that's feels like it's almost too much. And by the way, we're just about to move on. He's going to create mankind on that day too. That's too much, God. And he's going to see that it was good, but really the duck-billed platypus looks like you just took a bunch of crap that you weren't using and shoved it all together. It's not. You made a sloth and then said, "Don't be like that animal." You know what I mean? You're not. I don't know if you were paying close attention. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, all over all the creatures that move along the ground." Now, I think some people might be like, is this the first hint at the Trinity? Like there's more than one element to God? Let us make man in our image, and then let them rule over the fish of the sea. I think that there is just one word missing. Let them rule over the fish of the sea. Like God could have really solved all the issues that people have surrounding gender and stuff like that if they, God being a they, just added they in there. Because then we'd all be comfortable with they, them. This might be God being a they, them themselves. If he's 3 in 1, he's a they, them. Verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Ha! You thought it was only one, but guess what? It was actually 2. God blessed them and said to them, now he could be talking to Adam, because Adam could be a they, them at this point. Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds of the air, and all the creatures that move on the ground, everything that has breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food." And it was so. Adam, but also by extension, us, we own everything. This is why we're the best. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. Ooh, this time it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. What's going to happen next? So that's Genesis chapter 1. I know that a lot of people don't take that literally, but a lot of people do. Who knows? Maybe that's exactly how it happened. And when did that happen? Could have been billions of years ago. Could have been 6,000 years ago. It really depends who you ask and what their credentials are. So that's chapter 1. If you have any thoughts about Genesis chapter 1, put them in the comments, and stay tuned for chapter 2 and then subsequently chapter 3. This has been Joel Reads the Bible. Please subscribe.